What is up, sports bettors? It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam, just getting incredibly excited for college football to be starting. As we can see on the screen here, I have the week 1 slate for college football. And in this video, I'll be giving you my college football week 1 best bets, some NCAA college football betting picks. And as we can see, ton of awesome games here. Ranked game between Cincinnati and Arkansas, 2 ranked teams. Obviously, one of the headliners is Oregon and Georgia. Another one is Notre Dame and Ohio State. But for me, the game that this video will be focusing on is Utah at Florida. So Utah, coming off of a Rose Bowl appearance last year, ranked 7th in the nation heading into this year, returned a lot of that team last year. So you understand why they are ranked 7th, facing off against Florida at home for Florida. It is in Florida, in the swamp. And Florida is in the middle of a rebuild of sorts. They fired Dan Mullins, replaced him with Billy Napier, came over from Louisiana. So it should be an interesting matchup. So let's see what we're working with here. I have the odds pulled up from oddsjam.com, just sport NCAA. Make sure you choose the game, in this case, Florida versus Utah. Unsurprisingly, Utah is the favorite here. Like I said, they are coming off a Rose Bowl. They're returning a lot of the main cast of characters from that Rose Bowl team last year, including obviously their head coach and their quarterback, Cameron Rising. So the OddsJam line prices them at -134. The other side of that is priced at +112 on the Florida money line side. The Florida money line side, it does look like there's a little bit of value depending on what team you want to bet on. There's about an 8-cent gap between the OddsJam line and the best odds you can get on Florida at +120. And there's about a 4-cent gap between what you can get on the OddsJam line for -134 to -130 on the Utah side. For me, I actually like Utah in this scenario. So the odds have been moving more and more favor of Utah. So as time goes on, more teams are betting on Utah, so their money line odds are getting less favorable. So while this isn't a positive expected value play right now, like if I remove the VIG, so you go to calculators, no VIG, fair odds, just type in both sides of the line, -134, +112. So it's +112, -134. Puts the true line of this at about +121 and -121. So there's no play on Florida or Utah that is currently positive expected value on their money line. But I'm willing to venture, if you bet on Utah right now, it will be positive EV by the time the game closes, or the betting side closes, the game starts. And really all what we're trying to do is place bets that generate positive closing line value. So I'm actually going to lock in Utah here. I really like Utah in this one. BetMGM doesn't let me get a lot. I'm going to try to put in 100. We will see what BetMGM lets me get here. Probably be somewhere less than 50, I would imagine, because BetMGM just has me limited. So I could get $12.93. Not a lot of money, but it's the best odds, and I don't want to place something for, I could do -137 on FanDuel. I think that'll end up beating the closing line as well, and maybe I will. But for this video, I'm sticking with the Utah money line at -130. And my logic behind that, I've mentioned it a little bit. Utah comes off of the Rose Bowl, returning a lot of the main cast of characters. So their head coach, Kyle Whittingham, still there. Quarterback, Cameron Rising, still there. They returned 6 of their 7 top pass catchers from last season. The only one that left was wide receiver Britton Covey. Now, there is some risk there because Britton Covey was their leading receiver, highly productive at Utah. He's actually at training camp with my Eagles, showing out in training camp. So he's a really good college player, but returning 6 of your 7 top pass catchers, it's a big deal. There will be possibly some growing pains along the offensive line for Utah as they have to replace 2 starters. But defensively, they pretty much return the same roster except for their starting middle linebackers, but they have 2 in-house that are going to be really good replacements. And then on the Florida side, I do have high hopes for Billy Napier's tenure in Florida, but I don't think it'll be week 1, and I don't necessarily think it'll be year 1 as well. He is implementing an entirely new system coming over from Louisiana. He does have some pedigree. He's coached under Dabo Swinney. He's coached under Nick Saban. So he's pretty well regarded in the college football landscape. I just don't necessarily think it's going to be week 1. They have a little bit of a question mark at quarterback with Anthony Richardson, who displayed talent when he played last year, but needs to improve upon just kind of the finer things of being a quarterback, decision-making, accuracy, all that stuff. Florida does figure to have a good offensive line, returning, I think, 4 starters from last year. They also got 1 transfer from Louisiana, so he has experience. Defensively, I think is going to be tough for Florida, so I expect them to play well on offense. I expect them to struggle on defense, which leads me to the total, which is actually my favorite bet of the game, is this total. So right now, depending on where you look, the total is priced at 50, 50.5, or 51. The OddsJam line prices this at 51, but they're actually favoring the over. So as we can see here, they price the over 51 at -113, the under at -107. So they're giving the over as the most likely scenario at 51. And we can actually get it at over 50.5 at -105 on FanDuel. So this is a positive expected value play, not only from an odds perspective. So if we want to remove the VIG, it's -122 and +101. So we got -122 +101. Prices this at about -110 towards the over. And we can get it at -105 on FanDuel. And as I mentioned, I am high on both of these offenses. Well, I do like Utah's defense. They will have a good defense. I also have a lot of respect for Billy Napier as an offensive coach. He has 2 coaches along the offensive line. He's always put a lot of emphasis on the offensive line, but I really think that Florida's going to struggle on defense. And I don't think it's great that they're going against a Utah team that returns so much talent from an already talented team the year prior. So this total going over 50.5 is actually my favorite bet for this game. I guess I got to log back in. So I'm logged back in. Soon my location will get verified. So this is going to be a 1-unit play for me. I'm putting a full unit, as you can see here, on the total going over 50.5 as my favorite betting pick for all the reasons that I mentioned. We're getting a positive EV play. Most books, including the OddsJam line, price this total above this amount. Even Bet Online, which prices this at 50, is favoring it to go over 50. They have the more likely scenario that this total goes over 50. So while it is a half point lower, at least they're favoring the over. And then when you look at all the other books, BetMGM, PointsBet, OddsJam line price this at 51, again with the OddsJam line favoring the over. So that is going to be my favorite pick for this game, over 50.5, -105 on FanDuel. I also like the money line odds of Utah, not positive EV as of right now, but I think it will be before the game starts. So I think it will end up beating the closing line. So those are my 2 betting picks. Now let me just add them to my bet tracker. So I got $12.57 on the Utah money line. And for the total points, I put the full unit, $100 on the over 50.5. And that is going to be it. Those are going to be my 2 picks. So if you're tailing, would love to hear it. Comment on the video with your feedback. Good, bad, neutral, whatever feedback you have is appreciated. I love hearing it. Other than that, please remember the good stuff. Like the video, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel, share with your friends, do all that good stuff. Helps me out a ton, and that's it. So appreciate you guys watching, and have a good one.